Hello, Neffy, and welcome to your deck review. For those of you joining us on YouTube for the first time, this is a series where I, Maultown, normally a short-form commander jester, will calmly and helpfully review your commander deck and its weird little PP. Your PP is your premise and your practicum. Your premise is the idea behind your deck. For this deck, it is a pun. Your practicum is the stuff in the 99, so you can think of it as what I hope will happen versus what actually happens. We're going to talk a little bit about this deck builder's idea, whether it can work in the bracket they want it to work in, or if they will have to compromise and where, and then we will talk about how that translates to the stuff in the list. So they want to do Dina, the dino, cannon. They want to use Dina, who can sacrifice stuff to gain you life and put counters on stuff, to make a big dinosaur who will then kill you. And there's also Jumbo Cactuar moment. There is also ways to turn that life gain into other people losing life. We're aiming for bracket 3, and the headline for this deck is going to be, how married are you to the pun? Because Dina, bracket 3, easy. Easy. Dina with big stompy guys, bracket 3, easy. Easy. Dina with big stompy guys where the life gain is doing damage rather than the damage doing damage, and they're all dinosaurs. That's where we're going to begin getting a little bit confused. So depending on how married you are to the dinosaurs, this gets a lot easier or a lot harder, because the thing about dinosaurs is they're kind of a weak creature type. As much as it pains me to say it as a blue player propagandist, like, they used to be really scary, but now they have a couple big standouts, you know. Galta stands out as like very easy to get down for a very, very low amount of mana. But what Dina really wants is something cheap, right? Dina cares about power. Let me double check that. Yeah, Dina cares about power. So we want things that are very powerful for not very much mana. A few dinosaurs can do that, but actually, like, not many of them do that well. If we look at the dinosaurs you have, 7 mana for a 6/6. Now we can make it bigger because we can convoke stuff, but how many creatures could we possibly have to convoke this if we're in a Dina deck that isn't making tokens? We have Apex Alliterative, who's 9 mana for 10 power. That's almost 1-to-1. No, frankly. We have Galta, the standout. 8 for 12. That's better. I don't think we're likely to have huge creatures in our hand, though, because we only have 12 dinosaurs. We have a 3 mana 2/3. We have a 4 mana 4/5. We have a 5 mana 5/5. Now this one's like cool because we can use this to at instant speed sacrifice one of the myriaded copies. So I'm not saying these are all bad picks for the deck. I just want to point out that, like, many of them don't translate well to what your commander wants to do, which is turn things like Calaxion into a 3 mana big power toughness swing. And that's really tough. And so I'll look at the list of dinosaurs and see if there's other stuff we can do. But I think we're going to keep circling the drain, and we're going to keep having that be the biggest problem. Where, okay, this would work if we... And, like, this bitch looks like a dinosaur! Come on! Sorry, I'll be better. This bitch looks like a dinosaur. Come on. So if we're willing to open it up on an aesthetic basis, if we're willing to grandfather in certain other creature types, I think it does get a whole lot easier. But most of what we're looking for is, like, especially if we want to be able, because people know you're going to use them for Dina. And so if you lay down, like, if you tap out and play Apex Altasaur and you have some type of benefit, everybody's just going to know, okay, any removal has to go towards Apex Altasaur. We cannot let them, untap and get the mana to use Dina. So we really want the mana to be able to play a thing with a lot of power, sacrifice it immediately before we have to give anybody else priority, and then hopefully we have something on the board that is going to give us either a benefit for gaining life, a benefit for a creature dying, or a benefit for a creature getting a lot of power put on it. Maybe switch out dinosaur hydras. Right. Okay. So we're a little bit open to it. Possibly being slow to a degree, as I do have sizable mana growth, but maybe I'm using the wrong ones. Yes. Let's talk about that. I do love the pun, by the way. Dina the Dino is a very, very cute pun, so I'm willing to try to work with it. So what I hate about your ramp section, chromatic lanterns should be cut. If you have fewer than 3 colors, you should not even consider it. And at 3 colors, like at three or more colors, I'm only considering this if I am building a non-proxied budget deck and I cannot spend anything on decent lands that fix mana. But in a world where my friends are being cool and I just get to use whatever lands I want to make mana and not do crazy shit, like totally useless card. But you're in 2 colors, so you don't even need it. Like you don't want this, period. I am a defender of cultish cultivate and Entis Restoration. I would even defend Entis Restoration more in this deck because we're gonna have so many big creatures. Cultivate is a fucking stone around your neck if you have to cast it turn 3. And this deck has to cast it turn 3 probably because you only have 4 things that can ramp you on turn 1, which means if we're not ramping on turn 1, Cultivate cannot happen until turn 3. At which point it's a very, very bad card. You get left behind very quickly in the broad scope of this game. I would be So what you can do is there's earlier today I called it the Baby Tron ladder. What you can do if you want to ramp really aggressively is you want to get mostly 1 mana ramp. So if you've ever used Scryfall, here is the advanced syntax. You're going to do mana value 1, OTAG ramp, Commander, Golgari. Pick 8 of the sons of bitches that are not Dark Ritual. Right? Pick any. And then your 3 mana ramp options, you want to have stuff that is going to get you more than 1 mana for the 1 card. So Selvala is a great option. Another great option, particularly if you want to do dinos, is Gwenna, Eyes of Gaia. This card is fucking incredible. Other good options are Somberwald Sage. This will give you 3 mana, but only for creature spells. But who the fuck cares if you're using it to play Galta? Kami of Whispered Hopes is great. Keep that one. You could probably, in this deck, cultivate Kodama's Reach, Crystal of the Altar Cave, turn and keep Bugenhagen, cut Bloom Tender. You don't have enough. You don't have enough colors really for this to matter. Because the other thing I want you to be a little bit afeared of is you should respect the possibility of a creature-based board wipe. So we do want to get we do want to get either some of this to be land ramp, or it has to ramp you so crazy style that you don't give a shit. I think Gwenna and Somberwald Sage are examples of cards that are so fucking insane you just don't care. But another thing I would consider for you is we are hopefully going to have always something on our board that's big. And because we're going to have something on our board that's always big, let's get a benefit from that. Like your reward should be, if I'm able to curve out into, I ramp on turn 1, I play my commander on turn 2, on turn 3 I play a guy. God, that math is really tight and really bad. On turn 3 I play a guy. Who could I play on turn 3 for 4 mana out of our current list that would make me happy? Nobody. That is the dinosaur problem right there. Maybe Scion of Calamity. No, I can't do it on turn 3 because I've only ramped once. Topiary Stomper or Wayward Swordtooth. So we have 2 options in the deck for the Christmas land we're working towards. But if we got them on turn 3, on turn 4, you could traverse the Outlands, and then you have enough lands in play for like the rest of the game. And then you begin sacrificing them and trying to use them for card draw. And so, like, ironically, I think that's not strength. You don't need Death Touch. What the fuck are we? You do not need Death Touch. I swear to you. I swear to you, you do not need Death Touch. You have the biggest guy around. What are we doing? So even though it doesn't seem like you've committed very much to it, I think the canon section and the strength section is just enough where if this was more card draw, if it was card draw, reanimation, or better targets, you would notice a world of difference in how effective the deck felt. because like I like Ovia either way, but like Orin Frostfang wants us to be wide. Doesn't even want us to be tall. I think I could find a just 1-to-1 better option. Hold on. Maybe I'm hallucinating this card, but I swear I've been. Yeah, like if you resolve Hunter's Insight one time, it's better than Orin Frostfang's entire existence. Like that's what we need. You don't need Death Touch. You're gonna have hopefully, like a 12-12. They whoever was blocking it was fucking dying anyway. Um that's this creature. Pima Trailblazer's actually crazy. Hold on. He's an elephant. That's basically a dinosaur. They have tusks. Um, look away. Triceratops have tusks. There you go. That's a little bit dinosaur racist, but they're all dead. Um, like we need more stuff like this because your biggest problem is going to be like we have to think beyond how funny is this pun, how much damage am I going to be able to count up to when this goes right. We have to think about where is my deck going to break down. Where your deck is going to break down is you are consolidating multiple threats into one threat, which makes it way easier for your opponents to deal with said threat. Like the game of Magic at the end of everything is just a bunch of kids flinging cards at each other, and you are getting rid of your own cards of your own volition. We either have to be getting a very good benefit for throwing those cards away, or we have to have big, meaty ways to refill our hand. Now, normally, what holds Pima Trailblazer back, his defect, for anybody who's watched Moneyball, is that they're just a 3-3 with trample. And being a 3-3 with trample is not very good in this life. But if there was a 5-5 that turned you into an 8-8, and you could then pay 6 to draw 8, even though that only happens once, you're super happy, and he remains a useful threat. And if we ever got reanimation mixed up in this, and we could bring him back, that resets the exhaust. So I would be looking for way more cards like that. Shit, dog. I might even run Hunter's Prowess, but we have to convert this massive power advantage into more stuff. Because like in our digging section right now, you know what we're not going to be doing? Casting a ton of creature spells. Beast Whisperer is still a very, very powerful card, don't get me wrong. Turning every creature into a cantrip is fucked up. But we're not going to be like chaining a million together. We're going to be like, play one, I sack it to Dina, another guy goes forth. And so you'd probably get more mileage out of Hunter's Prowess, which is like insane to say because I've never seen this card resolved. But like, not Jumbo Cactuar because nobody's letting that happen, and you just deck yourself. But like, if you got Scion of Calamity, right, and they try to chump block it, and you Hunter's Prowess draw 5, draw 6. That's probably keeping pace with what Beast Whisperer was going to do for you over the course of a game anyway. Another issue I see here is, ooh, kind of all over the place with our card draw. Okay, we definitely built this deck because we had a copy of Savage Order. I'm understanding it now. I don't play. I mean, God, I'm trying to think of a reason you can play Emeritus of Woe. It's not like a, oh my God, Demonic Tutor's too good. It's a weak card. I mean, it. All right, so it's a tutor, and it can move 5 power onto something and gain us life. Okay, I think that's acceptable because we could go like turn 4, I play this. Turn 5, I tutor for the thing that's going to save my game state, and then I sack her and I get 5 counters on something. That is not terrible. That is not the end of the world. I do not think I would be playing things like Night's Whisperer, Sign and Blood in this deck. I think I would either be playing some type of engine, or I would be playing a big hand refill option. If I am committing over a tenth of my deck just to making mana, there is no shot in hell I am looking for little baby card draw. I am looking to bust crazy style and then I am looking to refract and pick up like 5 cards at a time. We also have a reanimator section. Does regenerate work with sacrifice? Was it dark dabbling? Destroyed. I feel like destroyed is a okay. Get out. Okay, sacrificing a permanent doesn't destroy it. So this is only yeah, sacrifice is not destruction. So if this is in this section because you're like, oh, I can save the thing that I was going to sack to Dina. No, you cannot. Grave researcher. Bad and slow, but I like him. So on a bad and slow, but I like him and I want him to work. Marin's great. Stone Cold, an incredibly powerful card. I hate it. Moso is phenomenal. This does everything you want Dark Dabbling to do. I like Vainwitch Coven a lot, being able to reuse these guys. I like Victimize a medium amount, and I like Witch of the Moors an unfortunate amount. I wish I did not love her as much as I do, but I do. Protection. These are all fine. I think if you're going to be ramping this much, you would greatly enjoy asceticism or asceticism. Right? You're going to get to 5 mana really quickly. What if everything just had hexproof forever? Stop fucking with me. That's what this card is. Put that in for a random protection spell you already have and enjoy. Okay, so let's look at, are there other dinos that would make this work? Because we've talked about how to fix the ramp section. We've talked about a few other good draw spells that could exist. I would still be like, I would be playing like Keen Duelist. I would goddamn even be playing Phyrexian Arena. Another thing that might be really good for this deck, because you like damage, is Requiem Monolith. Because you are going to want to be swinging threatening creatures a lot, and people are going to want to chump block. Requiem Monolith makes it so that if they chump block, that is now card draw for you. Also a very potent thing you should include. Let's look at Golgari dinosaurs. Dinosaur Commander Golgari. Okay. We have these guys already. You should probably be playing Hulking Raptor over something. I really don't like ranging raptors. I really, really don't. I don't think there's any permutation where you like we have ramp already. If we change around the types of ramp we have, I think it solves the problem you were putting ranging raptors in the deck to solve. I think it is devastating to use one of our threat slots on a three mana 2 power creature. You could do Gigantosaurus. that is a bingo for the type of shit that you want. You want Pugnacious Hammer Skull, dog. Mm. Pugnacious Hammer Skull is the like perfect. I'm going to curve into, because I think you want a few more things like from your digging section as well to be just like, hey, do I have one big creature? I draw that many cards. So another thing that slots in perfectly to your deck is Disciple of Bolas. Another thing is Ruthless Technomancer as well, because this guy will help you reanimate stuff if you need to. He's not as good as Moso because he reanimates based on power. So we can't really cheat it, but we can trade one dinosaur for another, or we can trade a dinosaur for Witch of the Moors or something like that. But we really want things like Pugnacious Hammer Skull and Gigantosaurus, where they make a lot more power than they cost in mana, so that we can use card draw spells, traverse the outlands to break parity rather than just keeping up. Um, Dog, I might be on these text only. The flavor is me kicking you in the head. Let's go. So over Tribute to the World Tree, I would be playing Garruk's Uprising. I'm generally off that card, but you do really want Trample. Again, we don't give a shit about Death Touch. We care about trampling. Um, and then I don't think I would be playing Beast Whisperer, Guardian Project, Knight's Whisper, Sign in Blood, or Tribute to the World Tree. I would be replacing these with things that draw me cards based on power. There's a million of these in green. I believe the O tag is Burst, Draw, and then O tag Power Matters. None of these are going to be mana value 1. But like Rishkar's Expertise, Return of the Wild Speaker, Greater Good, even. Um, Life's Legacy if you want a cheap one. If you are worried about getting stuck in a hand that doesn't have ramp. Um, Legend of Kyoshi would be crazy, bro. Gitrog Ravenous Ride would be insane, but I don't think you have to play that because then we kind of lose out on the counters because like the thing we feed to it would die to draw us a million cards, but then those counters go away forever, which is pretty rough. Um, Lifestream's Blessing is going to double up on giving us this life gain benefit. Mark of Gristlebrand is a really fun equipment. But those are the draw cards I wouldn't be playing. We have to get more stuff that gives us a lot of power, and then we have to capitalize on that power more quickly. Are there any other big dinos we can fit in here? That's 8 for 9. I don't love that. That's 4 for 4. That's 3 for 4. 6 for 7. So sorry. I can't help myself. Needletooth pack is kind of cute. I don't really think it fully fits in because I don't yet believe that you can make your board very wide, but it has Morbid, so it does synergize with what your commander wants to do. If you want to stay on the dinosaurs plan and go up on dinosaurs, I would print yourself a copy of Devil Dinosaur. Giving all your other dinosaurs hexproof is going to be huge for maintaining, keeping the important things safe. Yeah, and then we about clean run out of dinosaurs. And so I do think this would go even better if you opened yourself up to things like Calaxion. I would go into like Scryfall Advanced and do mana value less than or equal to 4, power greater than or equal to 7. That's roughly the math I would be operating with. Bebop and Rocksteady. What is a Rhino Boar mutant if not basically a dinosaur? Baloth Prime kind of looks like a Monster Hunter dinosaur. Dagomoth Titan. Right, these are all phenomenal, phenomenal things. That is the least dinosaur looking one. But if you can open yourself up to these, I think the plan gets immensely easier. This guy is literally a dinosaur. He is more risky because we have to have something that gets us card advantage right after, before this upkeep trigger hoofs us in the cooter too hard. But I do think it can work well. So those are all my thoughts. I think this plan definitely works. I think we're just a little bit jumbled up about where we're budgeting our power. Um, from the cannon section, got this, got this, got this, or cut the other two. These two are the cleanest ones, but they are the least exciting. Um, you cut this no matter what, but you could keep the trident and the right of consumption if you wanted to be silly. From strength, I would keep Ovia and I would cut everything else. Love Skullspore Nexus here. And then you have the rest of my recommendations. If there's anybody in the comments with other bright ideas, please let me know. Otherwise, I wish you the very best, and I do hope this helps.